Hi, folks. Um, Welcome, gamers and geeks. Oh, didn't realize that was up there. Don't even know what that is. So, yeah. So this isn't a D&D stream. This is just me saying this is just a quick update about yesterday's craziness. It was kind of a roller coaster ride. So, early on, we got news via one of my favorite YouTubers, D&D Shorts, who told us that he'd gotten some information from someone inside of Wizards of the Coast that confirmed a lot of our worst fears about Wizards of the Coast. Specifically, let me pull it up here. The email said that they were an employee at Wizards of the Coast currently working on the D&D Beyond and with the D&D business leaders on the health of the product line, and that he can provide proof if necessary. D&D Shorts already did that due diligence and confirmed that this is legit. So he sent this message because he fears for the health of a community I love and know what leaders at Wizards of the Coast are looking for. They are briefly delaying rollout of the OGL changes due to the backlash, which we found out there was an official, Gizmodo and other websites announced that they were delaying the OGL due to the backlash. That's verifiable. Their decision making is based entirely on the provable impact of their bottom line. Specifically, they're looking at D&D, DDB subscriptions, so D&D Beyond, and cancellations as the quickest financial data they currently have. Now, when this rolled out, I'm sure you already saw either me or somebody else or D&D Shorts. This got shared quite a few times yesterday, and as a result, a lot of people, like so many people, cancelled their D&D Beyond accounts. It was crazy. I heard rumors later on in the day that D&D Beyond even made the cancellation button harder to find within because in a last ditch attempt to prevent people from leaving. But anyway, they're still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can still push this through. So that implies that they that people have been. There are some people who claim that the OGL 1.1 is dead in the water, and an OGL 2.0 is coming out, which is going to be better, lighter. Hi, Toby. Not as bad as the previous OGL 1.1, but according to this person, that they Wizards of the Coast still want to push through because, and I know why they want to push it through, but we'll get to that in a minute. The email goes on to say, I've decided to reach out because at my time in Wizards of the Coast, I've never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Their communication gives me the impression that they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. The D&D Beyond team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes and online portal when they got back from the holidays, and leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on the OGL was 30 minutes on the 1st November, on the 11th of January, 2023. This was the first time they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees. And even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. I will repeat, the main thing this leadership is looking at is D&D Beyond subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well. And P.S. I will be copying and posting this message to other community leaders, which is why lots of people got it besides just D&D Shorts. But yeah, there were lots of backlash on this. Lots of people were angry, like defending Wizards of the Coast, and but there were just as many, if not more, which I'm grateful for. That thought this was that decided that yeah, enough's enough. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, the OGL, the Open Gaming License, is the license that third-party content creators and DMs and D&D streamers and even VTT and but fairly big people, big companies like Paizo and Cobalt Press have been taking the OGL, which basically originally said that anyone can create content for D&D. It's cool. Because by allowing their fans to create content, it's free marketing. It allows the brand to grow and develop. Which is, but Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast, with one D&D around the corner, one D&D being the what's supposed to be the final edition, the ultimate edition, the ever evolving final edition of D&D that that they're coming out with. There were some things about one D&D that I didn't like anyway, including their attempts to monetize it for players. So basically, yeah, you'd be like, yeah. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. Let's stay on topic. So the OGL is designed so that anyone can create content for D&D, which is awesome. But the new OGL 1.1 that they proposed, well, they haven't officially proposed it. It got leaked, and the community find out that this is what they were going to roll out. And at the moment, it's been delayed because of the backlash. But and like that email says, they're probably just going to be wait until everyone calms down and roll it out anyway. But the highlights of this new OGL is that it will supersede the original OGL that's been out forever. Now, in order to create content, well, if you create content for D&D and make $50,000 from it, you have to tell Wizards of the Coast what you're selling and exactly how much you're making. And if it's over 750,000, which is a lot, I admit that's a high benchmark, you need to pay a 25% royalty to Wizards of the Coast, or 20% if it's a Kickstarter. And that's kind of understandable. It does limit third-party content providers, but the worst of it, and you can see other videos, including ones by D&D Shorts, that go into this in more detail and explain this better. But there are written into this OGL 1.1 is the stipulation that basically anything that anyone writes for D&D is essentially the property of Wizards of the Coast, and they can claim it as their property and sell it and make a profit on it without giving the original content any credit or royalties. And in fact, they can also revoke their license to produce any more work. So that's the thing. I mean, I would like to imagine that in the future, I will create enough content and make enough money doing it where I would have to declare it to Wizards of the Coast, but and that would be a pain in the ass, and because yeah. That would just be an inconvenience. But the thing that really worries me is the fact that if I produce something while I'm still relatively unknown, and D&D and Wizards of the Coast find it, decide they like it, and decide they want to take it, there would be nothing I could do to stop them. So fuck that. So yeah, I'm not monetized anyway, so I can swear as much as I want. Anyway, so the OGL the OGL 1.1 is bullshit. There might be something else coming out. Maybe the reason why they're delaying is because they're going to tweak it. I don't know. At this point, I didn't like what was coming. So yeah, the stuff that was coming out for 1D&D, I was a bit anyway. I didn't like it, and I can get into that in a little bit because but. Well, some of the things I didn't like is the fact that, so at the moment in D&D, when you roll to hit and you get a nat 20, that's a guaranteed hit. It doesn't matter how good their enemy's armor is, a natural 20 hits, which is fine. But a lot of people have house ruled that the same applies to skill checks. So, for example, if you roll stealth and get a nat 20, even if you are a literal Loxodon barbarian with no dexterity whatsoever, somehow, if you get a nat 20, you manage to not be seen by creatures with a passive perception of 26. Which, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. It never made sense to me. Rules as written, the nat 20, the critical hit only applies when you're rolling a hit. It doesn't apply for skill checks or saves. However, the new playtest stuff that they came out for 1D&D mentioned specifically that all skill checks, attack rolls, and saving throws will now be referred to as a D20 check. And a 20 will always succeed and a 1 will always fail. Fuck that. No, thank you. I reject that. Not gonna happen. So yeah, that's just silly, but it's not a reason to not really like the game. But I started getting a bad feeling even before the OGL 1.1 leak. That's my point. And there were things like, I like D&D, but I've been running a narrative game for decades before I started running 5e. And there are certain things in D&D that don't really fit the setting I'd already made. I've adapted the setting to fit the rules and incorporate the D&D gods and the D&D planes and blah, blah, blah. But I kind of want to go back to my roots and create the setting the way that I originally envisioned it and create a set of rules that go along with it. Now, I wasn't sure exactly if I went ahead and did this. I was fairly determined that I would be able to write it in such a way that D&D wouldn't be able to claim it, because I'm not planning on using a D20 to hit. I'm thinking that's going to be a D100. The armor isn't going to come into it until it's not going to affect the to hit, but it will affect the damage. There are instead of classes, there will be skill trees, etc. It's going to be a very different roleplay system. This isn't going to be a D&D clone, and I don't think anybody could look at what I'm planning and go, this is just D&D, and try and claim ownership of it, because it's going to be very, very different. But I was still a little nervous, especially about whether or not I could get away with using the the D20 for some of it, because even though I've seen search results that claim that game mechanics can't be copyrighted, they can be patented but not copyrighted, and there's no patent on the D20 system. I was still a little bit nervous, but then this is the thing that I'm really excited about. Paizo, however you pronounce it, Paizo. The people who made Pathfinder in response to D&D 4th edition, and have since come out with Pathfinder 2, which is pretty much completely their own. The original Pathfinder was built on the OGL, but Pathfinder 2 is they took what they learned from Pathfinder and did their own thing. But they have teamed up with several other people, including Cobalt Press, and let's see if I can find the original announcement. It was pretty awesome. There were so many. When I shared this, it caused the website to crash. Let's see if they've managed to get it back up again. No, it still says 503 service temporarily unavailable. So they did acknowledge that on their Paizo acknowledged that on their Facebook page, and rewrote the press release that basically Paizo are rejecting that the Wizards of the Coast have the power to revoke the original OGL, but instead of fighting them in court, they're just going to write their own version. They're calling it the Open RPG Creative License, otherwise known as the ORC license, which is designed to be non-specific to any one company or system. And basically, multiple leading publishers have already signed to create a truly open license that allows all games to provide their own unique open rules reference documents that open up their individual game systems to the world. So I'm very excited about this and hope that it stands up legally. And I'm going to continue writing my game system under the ORC license. I don't know what I'll need to do to actually make that official. Don't know if I need to actually sign something, or if it'll be similar to the original OGL, where all you need to do is create the content and your and that activates the license. But we'll see. Still excited. I have to do a private game in a couple of hours, but then I'm going to be so watch this space for more announcements regarding the game. The game, funnily enough, the game was actually the original title for it way back before I even heard of the meme The Game. The game is what me and my friends would call it when we sat around and did our narrative round robin role play, where I would tell everybody what was going on, and they would each take it in turns to respond in character, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, people like rolling dice, so and having books. And back then I couldn't afford books or dice, so we did it the budget way. To be fair, it was partly because I was spending all of my money on Warhammer at the time, but that and saving up to go to America, but that's another story. So at the moment, One of the working titles has been Pirates and Princes. I came up with this when it was part of my response to the Pirates and Princes have featured in my games, but it was also a reference to it being like a pirate D&D. Except, like I said before, it's not going to be anything like D&D. Originally, I had intended my system to be a set of homebrew rules that could be used that was compatible. It was supposed to be compatible with 5e. When I originally started writing this, it was going to be compatible with 5e, and each section was going to be written out in the same order as the PHB, so you could swap section for section. You could decide which parts, which rules you wanted to use. But not doing that anymore because, yeah, down with Wizards of the Coast. Fuck them. They're... I appreciate that you've helped make being a geek acceptable and mainstream, but... And of course, this sounds utterly naive, but you don't care about us. You don't care about the community wizards. You don't. You care about your bottom line, or at least the people at the top care about the bottom line. I feel sorry for the people that are working at Wizards of the Coasts because of a passion for the hobby that are being betrayed by their own leadership. I hope you find... I hope you guys all quit and go work for Paizo or Cobalt Press or any of the other third-party, well, any of the other game manufacturers that are out there. Heck, if you want to team up with me and help me make the book awesome, that would be fantastic. Not that I can afford to pay you yet, but maybe we can figure that out. As it stands, I'm gonna be... I'll have to cheat a little bit on the illustrations and stuff because I can't afford an artist. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, like and subscribe if you want to hear more news about my game, and also to watch the stream of the games I'm running. At the moment, I'm still using the 5e rules, but yeah, hopefully not for much longer. Hopefully I'll start playtesting my own system bit by bit, and we'll see about making a website with a link for the work in progress PDF that you can give me feedback on. And if you like what you see and want to support what I'm doing, maybe you can, I'll put a PayPal link on there or something. Yeah. So there's a link to there's a link in the description to the new t-shirts that have come out. I didn't put a link in the description to the Discord channel on this video, but if you go to any of the other live streamed videos, and you'll see a link for the Discord channel there. Come join the community, come hang out, come tell me what you think about all of this nonsense, and perhaps even play a game. It is pay to play because this is my job. But it's reasonable. It's only £25 a month to get you a weekly game that is, so 4-hour sessions every month, which is pretty awesome. It's actually cheaper than the games I do in person, which are £10 a session. So that works out to be $40 a month if I'm doing a weekly game. So yeah, it's cheaper to subscribe via Patreon and join my Discord games. And there's a couple of slots open if you're interested. But in the meantime, whatever role you play in life, have a good game.